The world is full of strange borders, each with its own story and significance. There are lines drawn in sand across mountaintops and even through bustling cities. These borders can be both visible and invisible, shaping the lives of those who live near them. But perhaps none are as curious as the watery boundary that separates Russia and the United States. Here, in the heart of the Bering Strait, two islands stand as silent sentinels, separated by a mere 4 kilometers of frigid water. These are the Diamida Islands, Big Diomede belonging to Russia, and Little Diomede, a part of the United States. So close are they that on a clear day, residents can see the lights twinkling on the other side, a reminder of their proximity. This proximity, however, is deceptive, as the waters between them are treacherous and often shrouded in fog. For these islands, though geographically close, are worlds apart in terms of culture, lifestyle, and governance. They are separated not just by national boundaries and political ideologies but by time itself. The international dateline, that invisible marker of time zones, snakes its way between them, making Big Diomede 21 hours ahead of its smaller sibling. This means that when it's Monday morning on Little Diomede, it's already Tuesday morning on Big Diomede, a fascinating temporal anomaly. A journey of just a few kilometers can transport you, in essence, to the next day, crossing not just space, but time. This temporal quirk, coupled with the island's unique location and history, makes the Diomedes a place of endless fascination and mystery. The Diamida Islands rise from the Bering Strait like ancient weathered guardians. Located in the middle of the strait, they are the only points of land between the vast expanse of Russia and the North American continent. The strait itself is a narrow passage of water, just 82 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. It separates the Chukchi Sea, which is part of the Arctic Ocean, from the Bering Sea, a marginal sea of the Pacific Ocean. For millennia, the Bering Strait has served as a bridge between two continents, a pathway for both humans and animals. It is believed that during the last glacial period, when sea levels were much lower, a land bridge known as Beringia connected Asia and North America in this very spot. Across this bridge, ancient hunters followed their prey, eventually populating the Americas. The Diamida Islands, standing as they do in the middle of this ancient pathway, bear witness to this deep history. The international dateline, that imaginary line that demarcates one calendar day from the next, is not a straight line at all. Instead, it meanders and zigzags, taking into account various political and geographical factors. It zigzags its way across the globe, drawn with political and geographical considerations in mind. This means that the line is not just a simple division, but a complex boundary influenced by human decisions. In the Bering Strait, the dateline takes a sharp detour, curving westward around the Diamida Islands. This detour is one of the most fascinating aspects of the dateline's path. This curve places Big Diomede to the east of the line, in the eastern hemisphere, and Little Diomede to the west, in the western hemisphere. Despite their proximity, they exist in different time zones. This seemingly arbitrary decision has profound implications for the islands and their inhabitants. It affects everything from daily routines to cultural practices. Because of this eastward bulge in the dateline, Big Diomede is 21 hours ahead of Little Diomede, even though they are just a stone's throw apart. This time difference is one of the largest in the world for such a short distance. This means that if you were to stand on the shores of Little Diomede and look across the water at Big Diomede, you would be gazing not just at another country, but at tomorrow. The concept of time takes on a tangible form here. The residents of Little Diomede have dubbed Big Diomede Tomorrow Island, and the nickname is Apartment. It serves as a daily reminder of the unique temporal relationship between the two islands. For across that narrow strait, the future, at least in terms of calendar days, is always just a little bit closer. This unique geographical quirk makes the Diamida Islands a fascinating study in the concept of time and space. Life on Little Diomede is a study in resilience, where the harsh environment shapes the daily lives of its inhabitants. Home to a small community of around 100 people, mostly of Inupiat Eskimo descent, the island is a world away from the hustle and bustle of mainland America. Here, traditions are deeply rooted and the community thrives on a strong sense of togetherness. The island itself is small, barely 3 square kilometers in size, and dominated by a steep rocky peak that rises dramatically from the sea. The village of Diomede, the only settlement on the island, clings to the rocky slopes, its brightly colored houses a stark contrast to the gray landscape. These homes are a testament to the residents' determination to carve out a life in such a challenging environment. Life here is dictated by the rhythms of nature, with each season bringing its own set of challenges and opportunities. The Bering Sea provides sustenance, and fishing, particularly for king crab and halibut, is the mainstay of the economy. The sea's bounty is crucial for the community's survival. Hunting for walrus and seal is also an important part of the traditional way of life, passed down through generations. The island has no natural harbor, and the only way to reach the mainland is by boat or plane, weather permitting. This makes travel and transport particularly challenging. In winter, when the Bering Strait freezes over, the island is even more isolated, cut off from the rest of the world by a vast expanse of ice. Section 5. Traditions endure, the Inupiat Heritage. Despite the encroachment of the modern world, the Inupiat people of Little Diomede have managed to preserve many aspects of their traditional culture. Their language, Inupiat, is still spoken, and elders pass down ancient stories and legends to younger generations. Subsistence hunting and fishing are not just economic activities, but also important cultural practices that connect the people to their ancestors and the land. The community gathers for traditional dances and celebrations, keeping ancient customs alive. Intricately carved ivory sculptures, a testament to the artistic skills passed down through generations, are prized possessions. Life on Little Diomede is a testament to the resilience of culture, a reminder that even in the face of modernity, ancient traditions can endure. Section 6. Across the Strait, a glimpse of Big Diomede. Big Diomede, though so close to Little Diomede, remains largely shrouded in mystery. Since the Cold War, when the Bering Strait became the symbolic ice curtain between the superpowers, contact between the islands has been limited. The Russian government maintains a military base on the island, and access is restricted. What little information is available paints a picture of a starkly different life than the one lived on Little Diomede. The indigenous population of Big Diomede was relocated to mainland Russia decades ago, and the island is now inhabited primarily by military personnel. Gone are the traditional ways of life, replaced by the routines of military life. The island itself is larger than its American counterpart, but equally unforgiving in its terrain. Rocky cliffs rise from the sea, and the vegetation is sparse. Section 7. The challenges of isolation. Life on the Diomede Islands, whether on the American or Russian side, is not without its challenges. Isolation is a constant companion, and the harsh weather conditions only exacerbate it. Winters are long and brutal, with temperatures plummeting far below freezing. The sea freezes over, making travel to the mainland impossible for months on end. Supplies must be stockpiled during the short summer months, and self-sufficiency is not just a virtue but a necessity. Medical emergencies pose a particular challenge. The nearest hospital is hundreds of miles away, and evacuation by air is often impossible due to the weather. The lack of economic opportunities has also taken its toll, leading to a steady stream of young people leaving the islands in search of better prospects elsewhere. Those who remain do so out of a deep connection to their homeland and a desire to preserve their cultural heritage. Section 8. A bridge across time. The Diomede Islands, despite their physical separation and political differences, remain inextricably linked. They are two sides of the same coin, a reminder that even in a world increasingly divided by borders and ideologies, there are places where such distinctions seem to blur. The international dateline, that arbitrary line drawn on maps, may separate them in time, but it cannot erase the shared history and cultural connections that bind them together. The islands stand as a testament to the enduring power of human connection, a place where a simple boat ride can transport you not just across a narrow strait but also across time itself. They remind us that the world is full of surprises, of places where the familiar rules of time and space seem to bend and twist, revealing a glimpse of a different reality. Section 9. Echoes in the mist. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across the Bering Strait, the Diomede Islands seem to draw closer, their silhouettes merging with the gathering dusk. The wind whispers tales of ancient crossings, of hunters and explorers who braved these waters in search of new lands and new beginnings. The islands stand as silent witnesses to the ebb and flow of history, their rocky slopes echoing with the ghosts of generations past. What does the future hold for these remote outposts? Will they remain isolated enclaves clinging to the edge of the world, or will they one day serve as a bridge between two nations, a symbol of cooperation and understanding? Only time will tell. But for now, the Diamida Islands stand as a poignant reminder that even in the most remote corners of the globe, the human story continues to unfold, filled with both challenges and moments of unexpected grace.